Static SQL is generally, so if I'll go to my notepad, static SQL, if I'll say it's a list of account. List is equal to that all the fields, whatever fields you want to use here, from account where like whatever. Okay, this is my dynamic SQL. Sorry, static SQL. So if I want to go to dynamic SQL, that time what I need to do here. So first I will create a string here, string str is equal to, so whatever this SQLs I written here, so these same SQLs I will copy and I will paste here. So that is the same SQLs. I want to see whatever result line number 1 is giving the same result we should get from line number 3 as well. So now you will think, no, it is a string. It is behaving like a string. It is not any kind of SQL, but since it's a SQL, right? It's a string. So how can we convert this string to SQL? So now same way, I will create one list like this only. So I will say database query str database.query, it's str. So in this one, so what will be happen? So whatever result we are getting from line number 1, so we'll get the same result from the line number 4. Okay, so whatever things we have written here, so if I'm writing something like this here, something like this I'm writing here, so now it will throw an error message in line number 4. Okay, so but yes, if something I will write here the things, the wrong things here, so it will display error message in line number 1, right? So thing is like whatever the execution is going on for line number 3, it's execution from the database.query. So database.query is nothing, it's used for like execute a dynamic SQL. So that's about the dynamic SQL. So let's try to execute this one in the developer console. So let me create one of the Apex class. We can just dynamic SQL. So generally in case of dynamic SQL, so what generally happens is, let's say I'm going to create some string here, and that SQL I'll map with Visualforce page, and with the help of Visualforce page we'll see the result. So I'll do one thing, let me create a constructor here. From this one parallelly I'll create a list of some account reports. Assist list and get a set. Get assist list. What will I do here for this? I'll just write say assist list is equal to select ID from account. We can display the name, last name, phone, something like this. Okay, so I'm writing this SOQL. So generally what will happen here, so if if I want to display the number of reports on the table is, so what will I do for that? So I generally will create a Visualforce page. that would be value. Next is list that is coming from there. Is the ICC list. So now let me get one more variable here. It's a more variable. Yes, you should do ID. So if I want to display number of reports related to ID, related to name, similarly related to phone, related to phone. Okay, all the fields we are using here, whatever fields we are using, ID, name, phone. So similarly we are using here. Okay, so now let me just check the result here. So what's the result is? Oh, it is showing. Okay, so reports is more than 1000. So maximum we can display 1000 reports from the Visualforce page. We cannot display more than, but in our database is 5000 reports. So what can we do here in this situation? So we have one tag here, read only equal to true. Then I'll display the result. There are loads of reports. These are 5000 reports on the one page. That's why it is. It might take some time to load the page. It's saying view state size is 170 KB. View state error we are generally getting here. Okay, so it is not able to handle this one. So maximum, what's the maximum view state limit? Limit is, so that is 170 KB. 170, but in our cases are 215. So let's do one thing. Let me just make it simple. Let's write here limit 1000 here. Now all the reports is visible. Okay, so now this is my one way to do the things. So that is my static SOQL. This is my static SOQL, and so let me just show you in Lightning experience. So if I'll just add here Lightning style sheet, as I already told you. So my page will be converted in the Lightning component. So now whatever things I'm able to see now, so it seems in the Lightning view only. It is shown in the Lightning view only. So now what should I do here? What we are trying to do here? So we are trying to achieve. We are trying to achieve from the is the same things that these are same result from the dynamic SQL. And I will tell you why from dynamic SQL. Why? Because if we already have a static SQL, then what is a different thing where we can not perform from? What is the benefit of a dynamic SQL? That thing I will tell you. So let me just show you first, how generally we do the things. So what will I do here? So it's a string I created here. That string inside this same value I will pass in the string format. I pass this thing. Okay, in the ACC list, I will generally write database dot query. This query I'll write str. That's so now let's see the result. The same result we should get. Same result we are getting here. Okay, so means I'll say as a static. This is a dynamic SQL. Previously we were using a static SQL. So now why do we use dynamic? What is the benefit of dynamic SQL? This is very, very, very important. Even this topic, this task is not related for your now like time being. So this will be you will have face this you always like in a might be if you are working in real time, this functionality is already implemented in your project. So always you will face this kind of things in a dynamic SQL. That time you should not be confused that what is this. Then like we haven't covered these kind of things. Okay, so these are static, these are dynamic SQL. So dynamic SQL generally beneficial of that dynamic SQL. You can consider one thing here. See, I'm writing here. Let's say where name is not equal to null. So everyone knows that a name should not, will not be null. So now what will I do here? So let's say I have few conditions. Let's say some data is coming, some data is not coming. If it is coming, why it is coming. So lots of conditions we have. So according to condition, I want to add some where clause. Let's say in the static SQL, what I will do here, I will just write where name is not equal to null and this one and this one, or this one and this one. One we can write only one SQL only. But in this scenario as well, we will execute one time only. We will also execute one time only. But uh, uh, like multiple conditions we can put. But in static SQL we cannot put. Let me just show you. Let's say str. Let's say I'm writing here. Let's say some of the field public not, public string search bar. In the search bar plus equal to name search bar. One second. Blank is not blank. Sorry, it's not blank. If let's say I have some search bar here, some search box here, so that search according to that search box, what I want, like if it is not null, if we are putting the value in the search box, so then it will like we want to add some where clause. Let's say if it is not null, then search bar will be added as a let's say name is equal to search bar, something like this. So we'll do one thing now. This search bar, so let me just add this one here, name or let's say phone equal to search bar, something I'm executing now. So definitely I'll be able to see the result here, and even let me just add limit here, and limit 1000. Sorry, I'll do one thing. If by default let me start some of the something. Yes. So see, now it is showing some exception here. So it is showing some exception, unexpected token form. So we are getting we are generally getting this error here. Okay, so why we are getting this error, because what our condition is, our condition, like this is our main this is our main work. Okay, so this is our dynamic SQL. From this dynamic SQL, what we are saying, our where clause should be added here, where clause should be added here if my search bar is not equal to null. So whatever things I'm adding in the search bar, that should be comes under this. Like, so these things, what will happen with these things if it is not blank? If phone is not blank, then one second here. I mistake one thing. Yeah, that is fine. So what will happen here? So this thing will be added automatically. One space. Why I given here? Because if it is not blank in the str, it will be added plus. It means plus means it will be added here like this. If I will this is my static SOQL. It seems means only highlighted panel is highlighted line is static SOQL. If I will run this one in the static, that will work fine. But in case of dynamic, what I'm trying to do here, on the behalf of conditions, I'm adding the where clause. I'm adding the where clause. So similarly, if I have another things, then I will add something again. If I have another things, then I will, let's say, search bar and something like this. Accordingly, I will display the results. Like this will display the results. So now it is not showing any results. So let me just show you. So let me just check any of the account where we have a phone, and we'll enter the phone here. Where, okay, I think let's see. Let me just check phone. Where do we have phone or not? I think phone is, we don't have phones. Let me do one thing then. Okay, let me just check. Yeah, so do one thing. Let me just copy this one only, and let me put here, and let's do one thing. It's a phone ID is not equal to none, and instead of phone, I'm writing name. So it should display one result. It is displaying one result. So whatever we copied here, so this result it is showing. How it is showing? Because in the search bar we are putting here. So it is not blank. Definitely it is not blank. It is showing. If you will go to line number 9, it will say it is not blank. If it is not blank, then name equal to this search bar. What is search bar is? Search bar is this Amar Rahul sir, something like this. So this is a search bar result, and if it is equal to this, then it will be added automatically here in the end condition. Then it will display the result. This is a, like, if you want some more things here, so let's say if you want to add some search bar, instead of search bar, you want to create some other variables or something like this. Accordingly, you can display. So let's do one thing now. Let's do one thing now. Finally, finally, let me just add the what is this? Okay, fine. So now this is limit only. This is only limit. So what we will do now? So let's make one search box here. So in this search box, when I will click on the name, then it will display a name. If I'll write the phone or something like this, accordingly we can make it. So this is a search bar. So let me make it getter setter first, because we are going to use this one on the Visualforce page set. Let me make it getter setter. This search bar, I will create the one input box where we will search the value. Search box. This search box will get it. This is a search box. If I'll find out, if I'll click like something, I will find, and click press on the button, then one of the result will be displayed here. So let's check with the name only. Let's check with name, and then we'll find out with the ID as well. Let's check with the phone and ID both. So what we have to do now, we have to create one button here. So that button which should be created here. So whatever the things we are able to see here. So let me just remove all these things, and let me just remove all these things. Let me keep all these things in one method where we can create one action here. Public void open the bucket, something like this. Okay, so this open the bucket, I will create one button here. What happened? Hmm. Oh, sorry. So the same, I will use one button here. I will create one button with this text command button. Value uh, where's me for search. Okay, so these are the things. So we made all these things. So now it's a search bar, it's a for phone. So it's a name. So let me just go there, and we are not able to see any of the result here. Why? Because the database.query is running inside the inside the methods only. So if let's say if I don't have anything here, let's say I don't have anything here. So I want to find some of the let's say some, we know the person who is with this name. So what will I do here? I'll click on this, and it is showing open the bucket component line number 16. Okay, line number 16. Command button action. Open the bucket, fine. Yes, fine. Expression limit. 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 Why can't we edit? Okay. So let me just put this thing here, and whatever things we have here. So let me refresh this one. And let me just copy this one. Let me put some close on this one. Yeah, so it is showing one result. So if I'll check any of the other result here, so let's say if I'm checking this one, so it should display only that result only 6 only. If I write here 5, then it will display as the 5 will report only. Okay, it's related to this one only. So let's say this is my one one dynamic SOQL, and so what will I do here? So let's say I'm just pressing let's say I'm just pressing any other result as well, and I want to display some other result as well. It's a str's name. It's a str id. I want to search str id as well. So that str id I will add here. That str id I will add here, and str id instead of name. So what I will use here id. So if I want to find out a report with id as well, so that we can do. That is. Uh, okay, okay. Okay. Oh, sorry. सबसे पहले तो मैं ठीक है str does not have wait oh sorry ये मैंने गलत कर दिया ये str तो जाना ही चाहिए ना str id यहाँ पे बना देते हैं okay this is str id. So if I'll find out if I'll create one more like search bar is a getter setter here, same way I will find out the result of the str id, and that str id I will create one more search box for let's say search name, search ID, and str name, str ID, sorry. Line number 4. Okay. Let's see the result. So now if we'll find out ID here, then we'll get the ID. If we'll find out the name here, we'll get the name. So let me just find out any of the ID here. So let's say this is my, let me just show you. So let's see if I'll open any of the records here. Or let me go to any other list view. Might will get the get so nobody. So let's say this is ID. Okay, record is it's a 4994. So let me just find out this person. So this record will get it. We are getting this record. Let's say parallelly I want to find out this records as well. Okay, so generally we are getting line number 20 again. Getting line number okay. We are getting, you know why? Because limit we are adding limit 2 times. If it is not blank, let's say generally why we are getting this error is you can understand first what is happening here. So name is not blank. So first it is adding here. If it name is not blank, then it is adding like this here. Okay. Again, what is happening here? If it is also not blank, that time it is also adding like this here. Means it is also adding. So 2 times we are adding the limit 1, limit 2, right? That is not fine. So we can remove the limit here because definitely if we are looking for the reports, it will not be a 1000 reports. It definitely it will be less than that. So if I'll find out this person, this 499, generally it is, oh, sorry. No. This should also, yeah, now it should work fine. The data is coming. So what's the ID is, let's say now array should not come now. What's happening? Limit, I remove the limit. Let's say this one is added here. It's a limit. Okay. Yeah, okay, fine. So I got to know why we are getting the limits error. So why again? So because if we are adding these things we missed last time. So let's say this is we are adding these things. It is like this. Again, if ID is also not blank, then I'm adding like this. This is also wrong, right? Limit should be after the SOQL, not between the SOQLs, right? So this also should not be there. If you want to add something, so at the end of the SOQLs we want to add the limits. Otherwise, we can add here, or else we don't need to add anywhere because we are searching the result. So let's say I'm finding out some result here. This is our things, and we are finding out the things now. Now it is working fine. Let me remove this one and let me just find out the result. Now it is showing the result, right? So this is working fine now. So parallelly, if I want to find out some of these things here, so now because of space, it is not showing the result. Okay, so so this thing is clear, I guess. So if you want to remove the limit as well, that will also, that time also it will work. If you would really want to add the limits and all, then definitely you can do one thing here. So before executing the SOQLs, so you can add something like this and you can remove all these things from here. Make sure you should give a one or more than one space here. It should be at least one space, because if you are not giving a space, then if you are not giving the space, what will be happen? So generally what will happen here? So let me just show you the result. If we are not giving the space. So let's say I'm finding out some of the value here. Name is not equal to null. Oh, sorry. Like this. Generally we are getting the error, right? Because it is showing null, and means both are null, and is like there is no space between null and end. This is null and this is and. So generally, if you are giving the space, that will work fine. If you are not giving the space, that will not work fine. It will be like this. You know, one space should be between that, right? That's why we are giving one space here. Okay, so this space should be there. We are str in the same query, same string. We are adding one more things here, so that should be added here with one space. Name is equal to search bar. These are like dynamic data we are getting from the search bar here. Okay, so that is the thing, like how we can achieve the things. So you go to the things or not? Kumar?
Yep.
Lakshmi?
Trying to understand.
Lakshmi, are you there?
Yes, I was there.
Okay, you understood or not?
Sorry?
समझ में आ रहा है?
Yeah, समझ में आ रहा है ये.
सही है.
Can you tell again, why do we include the space?
Which
And
one?
also this database, the database query, we also do it for the deletion, right? Like when we want to delete the one.
No.
The master.
That is no. That is, you are saying partial DML.
Yeah.
No, that is database.insert, database.delete. That is different. This is database.query.
Okay.
That is insert and all. So
yeah,
we are querying the data, and if you might aware from the batch apex, as we already covered, if you remember the things, then we did like some database.query locator, get query locator. So that is the thing. Like it is returning like 50,000 records, and database.query locator will help you to return them up to 50 million records. Okay, that's the difference. So now we are using database.query, and we are working like this only. We are working like this only. Now, if I'm adding the str again, and if I'm finding out the result again, so let's see which kind of error generally we faced and all. And 1 second. So yes. So because ID we are not putting here, so let me just keep the ID as well. This ID, let me just copy and let me just paste here. And let me just search. It is showing the error message. You know why? Because can anyone please tell me why we are getting this error? Like what's wrong in the code? Because in this scenario we are getting loads of error. From this error we learned and we resolve the things. So now hopefully you all understand like why we are getting the errors and all. You know why? Let me tell you. So this condition, what this condition is saying? This condition is saying if name is not null. If name is not null, then this thing will be executed. This thing will be executed. This will be added. This thing we added like this. If it is not null, so in our scenario it is not null. It was not null, right? In our scenario. So what happened generally? It was not null, but in case of the ID, it was also not null, because I also was adding some values here. Let's say like this. This is also not null. This means both condition will be satisfied. Like line number 14, line number 18 will be executed. So both will be executed. So this will also be added like this only. First it will be executed and it will be added here. Okay, search bar already added, and this will be added something like this. Okay, again it will be added something like this. Is it fine? No, right? Limit should be at one time only. So that's why like it will never be work. So if you want to do something like this, you can remove the things from here and then you can work. Now it will work fine. Got it or not? Hello?
Yeah. We are with you.
Okay, great. Okay, so this is the thing in the dynamic SOQL. So hopefully you understood the difference between static and SOQL dynamic. In static one, you won't be added all these things. You have to write if you want to add some more dynamic some where clause and all, then you have to write one more SOQL. So SOQL we can do maximum 100 SOQL per class. but yeah, this will also be count as a one. But if we'll write directly dynamic SQL, static SQL, that will be counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in the on that scenario, we had to write 1 and 2. Two query we had to write, but in this one, so it's a very simple example. That's why, so in real time might be 500 logics is covered by one SQL only. But from static SQL, you have to write a 500 SQLs for that, and 500 SQL is not feasible in case of your governor limits. If you say something like this, so 100 SQL we can write, not more than that. So that's why we are like going toward the dynamic SQL. Okay, you hopefully you might be aware the dynamic SQL features and all. And so we'll do one thing. So now I'll show you the result. I'll show you the result. No, that is also actually I don't have credentials now that I forget the ID password. Okay, no worry. So this is a feature which you can build from your side. Okay, even if you want, let's say I'm just searching something and on the behalf of search result, so I want to display the error message automatically. So something like this, what can we do here? So we can use here action function. I don't need to use this button now. Okay, I don't need to use this button now. So what will I do here? This is a search. I will write here. What's the name? My name is on change. You can join the class again. So might we can clear there. This class is about to end.
Okay.
Where's the name? Oh, sorry. That should be equal. And it should be search. Yes, fine. So now let's see the result. Let it be saved first. Just checking time.